right, welcome back to the Will and Russ Sports Podcast. This is episode 22, and I know it's been a while. We haven't heard from us. I'm Russ, still
And I'm
AKA the Prophet.
and I'm Will, aka Will Jamas.
So we're back. We took a little hiatus. We had to get some technical difficulties. We actually are on a new platform now that we're using that is better for the podcast because we want to give you guys the best sound that we possibly can have. There were a lot of glitches and stuff on some of our first 21 episodes, but we got through them, and we're still back here and we're ready to talk some sports again.
Yes,
I missed it, and I know Will probably missed it himself. So, Will, what we gonna do tonight? Where we started? We got so much to cover because
yeah.
we missed most of the end of the regular season of the NFL
I tell you what, we'll just go ahead and since we missed the better part of the regular season, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and just we'll review the playoffs all the way up to the championship game, and then then our next podcast episode we'll preview the Super Bowl. So I mean,
okay,
I guess without any further ado, we'll go ahead and talk about the playoffs.
All right, I'm gonna let you. Start us off. Where you want to start?
Well, I mean, in the beginning, I know a lot of the listeners heard you and I making our divisional. Our divisional winner picks, and
right.
So I just want to jump right into that NFC North division that you and I, were discussing.
Right.
I
Okay.
I want to do that because I have two particular things that I wanted to address. Number one, I wanted to address the fact that I'm gonna toot my own here, Russ, my own horn here.
Right.
I did predict the Packers to win that division, and they did. The Vikings came in second, and they did.
Yes, you did.
And I predicted they would come in as a wild card 6 seed, which they did.
Right.
So Nostradamus is right on cue,
on that one, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Even the NFC East too, by the way. But that's a subject.
Yeah.
But so anyway, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised that the Minnesota Vikings went into New Orleans and beat the Saints like that. I mean, that defense played outstanding.
Yeah, they did. I mean, that's a Mike Zimmer defense, and it didn't surprise me.
Yeah, no doubt. And but the thing that really grinds my gears is everybody's giving Kirk Cousins, he's got the monkey off of his back. He finally won the big one. Russ, you and I both watched that game. I'm sure you watched the game. I watched the game.
Yes.
Okay. What's your opinion on the game? Seriously. What do you think was the key ingredient?
I mean, what we just said, the defense. And what it's always been for the Vikings this year, for the most part, the running game and the defense.
Absolutely.
And I think that, yes, Kirk Cousins did what he was supposed to do to win the game. He played well at the end. But to say that he got the monkey off his back, I think it's a little bit far-fetched. And this is the reason why I would say it's far-fetched. Because if he got the monkey off his back, then why did Jason Garrett get fired for? Because he's won playoff games. Did he get the monkey off his back when they won the playoff game?
Exactly.
Well, you see, just because you won one doesn't mean you get the monkey off your back. I mean,
exactly.
You got to think about it. When I hear that phrase, and we're talking football and quarterbacks, I have to think of Steve Young. Back in the 90s, and when he got the monkey off his back was after he won the Super Bowl.
Right.
And he had already won playoff games,
Yep.
So that didn't get the monkey off his back. You've got to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
The Vikings
you know what, Russ?
The Vikings have and like the 49ers with Steve Young, to get the monkey off his back, he had to win a Super Bowl for the Niners, especially for the Niners, because you replaced Joe Montana, and that's
bingo.
That's what it is. Now the Vikings haven't won a Super Bowl, but they've been the Super Bowls
Right.
throughout. They went to the first Super Bowl of all.
Right.
No, not the first, the second or
Second.
second one. Yeah, the second Super Bowl of all time, plus 4 in the '70s. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
and since then they've been to some conference championship games. So that's getting the sort of monkey off your back for Minnesota, for the Vikings itself, is going to be getting to the Super Bowl and winning it.
And winning it, absolutely.
That's what it's going to be for them, to win the Super Bowl.
Right, and and that's the thing. A lot of these Viking fans, they was killing me on Facebook and social media saying, "Well, what do you mean? I mean, he won the big one. Dude, come on, really?
No, that's not the big one.
That's not the big one.
If that's the case, then why did we give so much slack to Tony Romo, or for not winning? You know what I mean? Tony Romo won playoff games. He won a couple playoff games. It's not like he never won a playoff game. That didn't get the monkey off his back.
No, it didn't. It absolutely didn't.
No, that didn't get the monkey off his back. And I mean, when you have a team that has a defense and has a run game, that's playoff ready. That's a playoff ready team. The Titans, which the Prophet, I picked them to win that division, which they didn't. But
yeah.
I think they overachieved from even me picking them to win a division.
Yeah, no doubt. Nostradamus picked the Texans to win it, and the Texans did win it.
They did, but they didn't do anything. And the Titans beat knocked off the Patriots, knocked off the Ravens. But we'll stick to the NFC North. We'll get there.
Okay. But here's my point, Russ.
Yeah.
I'm sick of these so-called Kirk Cousins jock riders.
Right.
Always talking, Cousins did. I mean, listen, you should see my you should see my phone flooded with messages from Vikings fans criticizing me. I mean, just crucifying me about me hating Kirk Cousins. And I don't hate Kirk Cousins.
Right.
I just hate the fact that he chokes in big games. That's my thing.
Right.
I don't hate the guy.
Right.
I don't hate him as a person. I hate him. I hate his play.
No, I know where you're coming from. I mean, the thing is with Cousins, and I'm a Kirk Cousins supporter for this season. I would say I thought that he would be able to step up, and he played well for the most part. But you can look at it and say it's still he made a step.
Yes,
in the right direction. But I won't
say
a step in the right direction. He took a step in the right direction. He got a win in the playoffs, and he played well in the fourth quarter to get that win as well. So he didn't lose the game for the Vikings. But then, let's see what he does next year. And the thing with Cousins, you want to see him play his best football at the end of the season rather than just through the season.
Right.
And that's, I think, I would guess that's what probably bothers you a lot about Cousins.
Absolutely, right.
And that you can't, you want him to do that. And you can't say, I mean, maybe the Vikings weren't the better team. Maybe they lost that game. But you want to see Cousins take the next step past where he is now.
Right. Russ, here's my thing. We paid Kirk Cousins $84 million, get fully guaranteed. Last year, his first year, we missed the playoffs. This year, we barely made the playoffs with him.
Right.
You know what I mean? If it wasn't for San Francisco beating the Rams, guess what, Russ? We missed the playoffs again.
Right.
Okay? Because we lost to the Packers twice. We lost to the Bears twice.
Yeah, you guys backed into the playoffs. Yeah.
Thank you. You know what I mean? And with our stout defense that we always had this whole season, okay, it showed up in New Orleans and dominated the game. Everybody's giving the credit to Kirk Cousins. Oh, he made some good he made some good throws. He didn't ruin the game for us. Right. Okay, kudos to you, Kirk. But now what you gonna do the next game or the next year? You know what I'm saying? The guy is a choker. That's all I'm saying. He chokes in big games. 0-9 on Monday Night Football, 5-23 versus winning teams.
Yeah, okay? and I understand what you're saying because I can't, I don't know what Vikings fans are talking about, but And Vikings fans, I've always been in your corner. If you want to go listen to some of our our earlier podcasts.
Yeah, okay.
No.
I think he was kind of fattening frogs for snakes, if you know what I'm talking
So, but I mean, I say this about Cousins, man. Um, you can't those games like you were just naming, the big games and stuff. It's not like it's just because you guys lost,
about.
but it's how he plays in a loss.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's different if he's like balling out and hey, it just sometimes it just
Right.
it didn't work, but
Exactly.
he struggles in those games,
Yes. Those big games.
and then you guys lose. He's
Yep.
not playing his best football in those games, and then you guys lose. Then I understand why you say that. So there's no defending him there. He has to step it up. He has the skill to do it, but will he do it? That's he has to
Right.
do it. I think he's a talented quarterback. But like you said, I don't know, for some reason, I don't want to use the C word yet, but eventually
Well, I
it's
tell you
gonna.
what, I'll use it. I'll use the word. It's called competition anxiety. That's what he has.
He has competition anxiety.
Yes.
That's a new one, folks. Competition anxiety. Kirk Cousins.
No, that's my C word for him.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess that sounds a lot better than choking. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. That's a politically correct
Right.
term.
That's the politically correct way of saying he's a choker. So, you know, but yeah, I definitely can't argue that
Yeah.
against that. I mean, I think he had his moments this season, but then there were a lot of games that you look back on during the season that he didn't, like the Monday night games, and that he did not show up, and that could
Right.
have helped you guys win the division.
Exactly.
So that definitely stands there, and I mean, the cup is half full, it's not half empty. I believe. I think the
Okay.
Vikings are in a good place as a team, but
Hmm.
they need him as their leader to take it to the next level.
Right. Okay. Well,
So
we'll digress from that because I mean, honestly, for me, talking about Kirk Cousins, it kind of gives me anxiety. You know what I'm saying?
competition anxiety.
So we'll move on from that debacle, and
Yeah, let's go to another debacle.
yeah,
Which is
which one?
the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East. I mean, since you dealt with your anxiety, let me deal with my anxiety, depression,
All
and
right.
drinking problem, all in one. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
mean, because you got to have drinking problems as a Cowboys fan right now. It's like I'm tired of hugging Cowboy fans when I meet them.
Right. Right. You said hugging him when patting
you
him
know,
on the back,
right, right,
tell him it'll be okay.
right. So that was very, very, as a Cowboy fan myself, it was very disappointing and and disgusting to watch.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
And I'm gonna try to not take too long on this, but I'll say this: I think Jason Garrett was the fall guy.
Yeah.
Somebody fall guy, but Jerry and them didn't want to get rid of Jason. But after a
Right.
season like this, how could you? There was nothing to present.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
For the outside to say this is the reasoning behind keeping Jason Garrett. Like in previous years, there were
Yeah.
reasons where you could say, well, Rome, we had injuries, well, they and then we had a couple good we had some good seasons with him. I mean, he had all winning seasons in him, but
Yeah.
um,
Well, I mean, honestly, Russ, I mean, yeah, you had a little bit of injuries now. I mean, Amari Cooper was banged up pretty good throughout the course of the season.
yeah, I mean, but that wasn't gonna cut it.
Right.
They
I
were
do.
they were calling for his head. Like, you know what I mean? It was there was no way Jerry. I think Jerry and them tried everything they could but they knew there was nowhere to go. They were hoping, like, making the playoffs could have given them a reason.
Right.
You see what I mean? That could have beating the Eagles would have given them the reason to say, "Hey, we can keep Jason." I think if we beat the Eagles, Jason Garrett is still our head coach.
Absolutely.
Re- re-
You're talking about in I believe it was the last game of the season, okay, week 17.
second to last.
Yeah, I'm sorry, second to
Yeah,
last.
week 16. Yeah, week 16.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that would have given him his job. But anyway, it's not. He's gone. We've got a new coach, Mike McCarthy. I was a little bit, questionable about Mike McCarthy, but it's grown on me. I feel that the way he's coming in, the energy that he's coming in with, being fired, the way he ended in Green Bay, being fired, and he spent the year focusing on coaching, focusing on what changes he need to make, and that's the best thing you can do as in any situation, in
Mm-hmm.
life, even just as a human being, to
Mm-hmm.
be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, what are my faults, what are what are my wrongs and my rights, basically,
Right. Right.
and then
Correct.
try to work on that, and
Right.
so when he came with that talk, I respect that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do. I just really hope that we look at the Tennessee Titans, and I'm bringing the Titans up again because I love the style of play. That's the style of play I
Yeah.
love of football. Is
Yeah.
that smash mouth football? They play
Mm-hmm.
good defense. They run the ball with Derrick Henry, who, by the way, is the running back I wanted us to draft. But I'm not gonna go there. We got Zeke. Zeke is absolutely a good running back,
Mm-hmm.
and but I question, how can I say this? I question sometimes watching the Cowboys play, especially this year. Even Zeke, sometimes he looks dejected. Like he looks
Right.
defeated is a better way for
Right.
me. That's another D word I can use. Defeated. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times I see him when things don't go right early on. He starts to look defeated. Now I don't
Right.
know if he's defeated because he thinks he should be getting the ball more, or is he just defeated because we're losing? And I just, you asked for this money, you got the money, and
Mm-hmm.
then I didn't see much. And I know a lot of Cowboy fans will say, "Oh, we didn't give him the ball enough. We didn't give him the ball enough." Yeah, but even it's like I didn't start seeing the real Zeke until towards towards the middle of the season. Really, to
I
me,
can agree with that. I can definitely agree with
his
that.
running was not the same. He was not. He was getting tackled as soon as he was touched.
Mm-hmm.
Not breaking tackles like I've seen before. And then there were games after that I started to see. Okay, now he's starting to look like the Zeke, but then not play calling was the problem, but
Right.
we got pass happy almost. It's like we lost our identity. Our
Right.
identity should be the Titans do not care. They're running
Right.
the ball.
Yeah.
You
They're coming. They don't give a damn if you put 12 in the box.
Thank you.
They're still coming.
They're running the ball. I mean, so all this stuff, and like I used to tell people that I remember Emmett running with 9 in the box,
Mm-hmm.
and still getting productive yards,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Absolutely.
and not just Emmett, but other running, that where you can stack the box and you can still run the ball if that's your identity, then it doesn't matter.
Right.
You're gonna take it on. And you're going to use that run to switch to the pass, to be able to work off of that, to be able to transition to the pass, play action pass. All kinds of things come from that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the style of offense I would like to see, that we run, and to watch the Titans do it with Derrick Henry this year, who led the league in rushing. It let me know that we could have been doing that same thing. Now, I'm going to shut my mouth and I'm going to ask you, what do you think about the Dallas Cowboys and the NFC East, because everything is different now except for the Eagles. The Eagles, well, the only thing is we still don't know who the Eagles have for a quarterback.
Right.
We
Right.
still don't know about Carson Wentz.
Well, and that's the thing, Russ. Let me just touch on the Eagles and Carson Wentz real quick, especially Carson Wentz. Honestly, Russ, in my opinion, if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm starting to look for another quarterback. I'm
Really?
sorry. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Because Carson Wentz has not proven, number one, he can stay healthy for a long term.
Right.
Number two, he has issues, or there were rumblings, I'm sorry, quote unquote rumblings, that him and his teammates aren't the best. Like he's not, you know, on good camaraderie with a good number of his teammates.
Right.
Um, and you know, and also the fact of that when if you think about this, Russ, ever since Nick Foles left the Philadelphia Eagles,
Yeah.
they've I mean, I know they've had injuries, but everybody has injuries.
Right.
You know what I mean? He hasn't elevated his team enough, just like Nick Foles did. And I'm not saying Nick Foles is, you know, Joe Montana,
Absolutely not.
but I'm saying Nick Foles elevated that team.
He did. He gave him a
You know,
huge spark. Yeah.
right? Carson hasn't given them a spark since he got hurt 2 years ago.
So let me ask you this real quick. Do you think that is because of what you started by saying, that this camaraderie thing, which I think there is something there with that with the Eagles? Is it that Nick Foles maybe has that leadership camaraderie when he comes in, and the players kind of mesh with him a little bit better than Carson? Do you think that is that Carson is not meshing with the team like that, where it's showing up on the field as there's a disconnect, basically?
Absolutely, I think that. Absolutely, I think that there's a disconnect some way somehow with Carson Wentz and some of his teammates, and the chemistry. I don't know, for whatever reason, it's not sparking. There's no connection.
Yeah.
You know, and I really believe that I'm going out on the limb right now, and I'm saying this. I think the Philadelphia Eagles will draft a quarterback this year coming up in the draft. Now, I'm not going to say
you
they're going
think
to draft.
so. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
they're going to draft a quarterback in the 4th or 5th round. Trust and believe.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. I
For
can see
security
that.
purposes, you know,
I can see
insurance
that.
reasons.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right. So
Now, if they draft him any higher than the 4th round, that's going to be
that's an eye opener.
That's an eye opener. Yeah.
Yeah, that means okay. We're going to try this guy for one more season, and if he doesn't pan out, we're going to start, you know, going somewhere else. Right. So that's why I feel about the Eagles. But I think the Eagles will be back. I mean, I at the end of the day, they had a lot of injuries. They actually need to add a lot of pieces into that defensive backfield, because that defensive backfield was a debacle. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, they couldn't cover they couldn't cover themselves with a wet blanket.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they struggled. I mean, the whole NFC East was very disappointing this year, and the Eagles won by default. But then I don't want to take anything away from them winning the division, because at the end of the season, when they needed to get the win, they did what they needed to do, including Carson Wentz. You know, they did enough to win the division, and you have to give them, you know, respect for that. I give them respect for that, but there's still a lot of work to be done. There's still a lot of question marks with the Eagles. The Redskins, wow, that's a whole another
yeah
thing.
that's
yeah,
that's a story that you know what, that's actually a miniseries.
Yes.
That's not even a story. That's a miniseries with the Redskins.
Yes.
As the Redskins turn. That's a freaking daytime drama. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
that's a whole different soap opera.
I don't know where they're going, but the Giants, to me, out of that division, I think they are headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I do too.
They have a young quarterback, which, you know, Daniel Jones. I was in his corner from the time they drafted him, or after they drafted him, because I went in, actually looked at him, and I thought he was better than Haskins. You know, I feel like that kid is going to have a good future in the NFL. And then you have Saquon, who is a beast, and they've got some young players, a young team that can only get better, I think, or could get better. And their line has improved. They still got more work to do, though. You know,
no doubt.
They're not done building yet, but they'll get some draft picks this year as well.
Yeah, the Giants will be ready to make that major step in 2 years. I don't believe next year will be that year. But it will be improved. It will improve next year, but not drastically.
No, they're not going to be winning the division or anything yet. No.
Right. Yeah. The division got too many other good teams in there.
It's still an Eagles-Cowboys division.
Cowboys, right. Now, back to your question about what my thoughts are on your beloved Dallas Cowboys.
Yes. Yes.
You know, first of all, I do like the hire, Mike McCarthy. I like that hire. I
Yeah.
actually do.
Yeah.
I think Mike McCarthy. I hope what I'm hoping, Russ, is I'm hoping he went in there and says, "Okay, Jerry, you got to let me cook. Buy the groceries and cook the meal, if you know what I mean." I don't know. I mean, you're closer to that than I am, so
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue. I don't think you see there's a guy. His name is Will McClay, and this is
Mhm,
for any Cowboy fans out there listening that don't know this. If the ones that do know it, you're probably shitting me. The ones that
mhm.
don't know this, Jerry has not, and I'm gonna say this emphatically, he has not been a dictator in control of the Dallas Cowboys since the days of Bill Parcells.
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you that he hasn't been a dictator, but has he been a micromanager?
No, I disagree with that totally. Jason Garrett had every he hired his coaching staff.
Okay.
He hired his coaching staff. He also the worked with Will McClay and Stephen Jones and Jerry
Hmm.
on the draft. It's not like he didn't have say on who was coming in. He had full say.
Hmm.
He had full say. They gave him full reign, and that's why they kept giving him chances because the thing was built around Jason.
Hmm.
It was built around Jason. So Jason had all the say in the world. Jason is a football mind. He's not a this is a Princeton graduate. He knows the game. He never lost the team. The players
Hmm.
love him.
Right.
But I think there was time for a change. That in that situation, it was time for a change just because of this season. This season did him in. It,
Yeah.
it did
Yeah.
him in. Whether how much of it was his fault or whether everybody loves to play the blame game, but the whole thing, the whole scenario of this Jerry is micromanaging and all that. It's more media than anything, in my opinion.
Okay.
Just from knowing how they run the team, Jerry doesn't have full say. Steven has a lot more say than what people think, and Will McClay is really the GM, quiet as kept.
Oh,
You
okay.
know,
Well, why? What I'm saying is, okay. If Will McClay's the GM, why don't they? Why isn't that known? Why
because
isn't that?
because that's a very good question, and that's because Jerry is the face of the franchise. He's the face.
Yeah. See that now. See that's where they
But
lose me.
no, 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 no. It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. He's the face of the franchise. He's the face. That doesn't mean that behind the scenes. That means he's making every decision.
Yeah, I
He's
know, I
he.
know, I know.
But I think also because he's the face, that's why he gets a lot of the media, the brunt that he's the one because nobody sees Will McClay. They don't
Well,
see they don't see Steven as much. They see Jerry because he's the face. He likes the camera, so they gave Jerry, hey Jerry, you're the face. You're gonna be the guy.
okay.
He takes
Well,
the good and the bad. You see what I mean? He's gonna
I
take
hear
the
you.
good and the bad. He's the face. But behind the scene, anybody who knows the inside of the Cowboys organization, Will McClay has been. He's the guy that brings in the free agents. He's the guy that works most of the draft. He does all the scouting. He's been with the Cowboys organization for a while now. He was part of their. He was their head coach on the when they had the what was it, the arena team, the Dallas Desperados or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he's been doing that for a while. They kept him. In fact, some teams tried to poach him away to be their GM, and of course, the Cowboys keep paying him and keeping him there. He's been loyal to stay with the Cowboys, but really, he does a lot of the GM work. Not saying Jerry doesn't do anything. I'm not saying that, but the perception that people have that Jerry's just micromanaging the team and forcing his hand here and for that hasn't it's been gone for a long time. He stopped doing that when he brought Bill Parcells in.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's why it's good to have another Cowboy fan on here to explain the situations because me being an outside looking in, I'm looking at that as okay. If Jerry's the face of the organization, um, he
Just for the
must be making.
media, just the camera face. You see
Okay,
what I
yeah,
mean?
just the camera face. Okay, yeah,
Right.
he does other, the exit interviews and he speaks to the media and all that stuff, and that's fine. Okay, so Will McClay. So if run of the mill fan asks me, he says, "Well, who's the Cowboys GM?" So you
Will McClay.
Will McClay. Okay, all
In
right.
fact,
Well,
during the Senior Bowl, there's a like 11-minute video. You go to YouTube where they're interviewing Will McClay. There's a
okay,
I think a 10-minute video where they're interviewing Stephen Jones. There's none where they're talking to Jerry. You
right,
see what I mean? Like that.
right,
They don't. Jerry's not. Jerry's probably there, but
right,
Will McClay is the guy to talk to. He's the guy that brings in all the free agents whenever we get a guy, and that's why I don't question the front office anymore with the Cowboys because I know how they have it set up. You know,
right.
Steven is the guy that handles like the contracts. Stephen Jones, he's the guy that isn't, you know, he makes that decision where if somebody's going to get fired or not. But Jerry also is a part of that. It's
Right.
more of a committee than just Jerry just, you know, dictating to everybody. That is so far fetched with the Cowboys, very
Right.
far fetched.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, you know, I again, I stand corrected, but I always thought what I just said. I always thought he was the, you know, GM and all that. But I mean, now,
He is the GM in title for sure.
right
You
now,
know,
okay, now, directing our attention to the field,
yes,
side of things, I believe that, you know, I don't know if I do agree with you on Zeke. Zeke gets, I think he lets the game get to him mentally sometimes, be it
yes,
winning or losing. You
yes,
know, I think sometimes he can be a little bit of a front runner. You know what I mean?
yes,
If everything's going well, oh man, Zeke is in it. He's, you know, he's pumping his teammates up. He's doing this
yes.
and that. But when he's down and they're losing, he's by
He's
himself, isolated,
defeated,
sitting on
looking
the bench.
defeated. Yeah,
Right, looking to kind of like Kirk Cousins. You know, if he throws an interception or two, goes on a bench and sits by himself and looks, you know, puts his hand in his face.
right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. But listen, again, Russ.
And it's not just Zeke. I mean, I put a lot of this season on the play. Honest
Yeah,
with you, you got to
yeah,
execute. All this coach, the team, they set the team up. You got talent all over the field, on defense and offense, and they're not executing. You know,
right.
they're not. It's like they don't care. Sometimes it looks like they almost don't care. Like they're
Don't
not.
care. Right. I mean, you, know, Michael Gallup, aka Rod Gardner,
What?
he
And okay, no, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish your sentence though first.
the reason why I say that because Michael Gallup, I call him 50-50, and that's what he used to call Rod Gardner from back in the day. Rod Gardner would catch 50%. Like you could throw the ball to Rod Gardner 100 times, he'll catch 50 balls. See what I'm saying? You understand
Right,
what I'm getting
right,
at?
right.
Michael Gallup fits that mold. He's talented, uber talented, speed, athletic ability, you know, route running, but the dude got to catch the ball. I mean, you got to catch the ball
I mean,
consistently.
the guy had well over 1,000 yards this year.
Yeah,
As the
I
second receiver. I mean, I'm a Michael Gallup fan, as you know from our earlier when we made our predictions. I told you watch for this kid this year,
did.
and like you said, he's uber talented as you can see. I don't think all of those drops are on him though. You know, if we really want to dissect it, Dak. Let's move to the quarterback. You talked about Cousins, but Dak is definitely. I feel he's our franchise quarterback. So let me get that straight right off the bat. I think,
Okay, and you know what? I feel he is a franchise type quarterback. I do. I
yeah,
agree with you.
I'm a Dak guy, but his accuracy sometimes is 50-50, like you just said.
Okay.
It's really 50-50. And you know, he misses the football is a game of inches.
It
I mean,
absolutely is.
it's 3rd and 8 and you miss your receiver field, that is a killer. Like you can't keep doing that. You can't keep waiting until the next drive. Okay, next drive. Okay, next drive. Now it's the fourth quarter and you're
Right.
down by 14 and it's over. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like his accuracy is so off sometimes it
Right.
kills me. And this year he did a lot of throwing behind receivers. Not, you know, and that can become problematic for receivers.
Right.
You know, if receivers they're going to help you out sometimes, but you got to help them out too sometimes. You know,
Right. I hear you.
yeah. So there were ones that I saw Gallup drop this year where I was like, that was on Gallup. Then
Mm-hmm.
there were other ones when I'm looking at the replay, I'm like, that pass is way behind him, or or it was over his head, or not thrown in the right place for your receiver to get it. And Dak needs to work on that, but I think he will be fine because he worked on his pocket presence and that got better this year. And that's the thing I like about Dak. He always improves on his weaknesses, and I expect him to fix that. He has to get more accurate though with some of
Right.
those passes. I mean, you can't miss those big passes,
Yeah.
in big games like the Eagles game. He was terrible,
Right.
terrible in that game. I mean, he was missing receivers left and right.
Right. I mean, he had a bad game. He did. He was bad. He
Yeah,
was.
it wasn't all on him though, because it wasn't like those other guys were producing either. Like
Right.
the team laid an egg in that game. But
Yeah, exactly.
but
That's what I'm saying. I would say even I mean, think about this. Even your defense wasn't that great.
no,
You know, the defense ain't play that great.
no,
And the Eagles were depleted.
right,
I mean, the Eagles had guys that literally was my neighbor.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like guys I've never heard of playing running back. I'm like, wait a minute, where's this guy come from? And
Right.
actually, he guy played in XFLs 20 years ago. You know what I mean? So
Right.
so yeah. I mean, but yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna rag on the Cowboys, even though it's so fitting for me to do it. But because you know what I'm saying? Because they had issues. I mean, every team goes through that. Every team goes through just a season of just
But
disarray.
this was a very disappointing season for the Cowboys
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
because the expectations were very high,
Right. Expectations were high,
very high.
um, very high, and it was one of those things that you missed. Let me say this to Russ. I believe if that game that you guys needed to win was in Dallas, I believe you guys win that game and make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I
but
will say that.
the thing is though, you just told me the Eagles were depleted. I still believe, like what I predicted at the beginning of the season, we are the better team. We're the more
Yeah,
talented
I
team.
do. I do too.
Yeah, we're the more talented team. So that's not
Yeah.
an excuse. You got to go. When you watch the Titans go in there to Foxborough and knock
Mhm.
off the defending champs and Tom Brady and Belichick, and then the very next week they go into Baltimore and knock off the hottest team in the league at that moment.
Right.
You know,
Right.
no, that's not a good excuse. You see
Right.
what I
I know.
mean?
I hear you. I
Yeah,
hear you.
that I can't accept that excuse because with the talent that you got, you can beat the Eagles. We've beaten the Eagles in Philly.
Yeah.
We've beaten the Eagles.
Yeah.
We've beaten better Eagle teams than that in
Right.
Philly.
Exactly.
So nah, that's
Okay.
they laid an egg. They went out there and laid an egg.
They did. They really did.
You know,
Which is yeah. I was very. I was surprised at that. I really was. Even though I picked the Eagles to win the division, I was still surprised that the Cowboys didn't win the division based on how the season ended up. You
right?
know. But I guess it is what it is. Bygones will be bygones. So let's move to the South Division, Russ. NFC South.
NFC South.
Yeah.
You're very strategic with these divisions we're picking.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There's causes and reasons for that. I mean, um, the
I,
Carolina. I'll go ahead and start with the Carolina Panthers. Um,
you're whipping board.
yeah. Okay. Now, Russ, when last year when we were doing the podcast, I went on record as to say that Cam Newton will not play another down for the Carolina Panthers.
That's still yet to be seen, though.
I know, but so far I'm right. So far I've been right. He has not even been close to being mentioned as to, oh yeah, he'll be back soon. I don't think he's coming back. I think he's done.
No, well, I did hear the new coach saying that Cam, he hasn't closed the book on Cam.
Right.
So
Okay.
if he wants to come back and be the starter, he has the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, but he's gonna make him compete for that job. And I don't think
Oh yeah.
Cam Newton has the cojones to compete for a job. I think Cam feels so entitled that he feels like, man, I'm Cam Newton. I used to run the Panthers. I used to be the quarterback. I took this team to the Super Bowl, and I deserve to be the starting quarterback. I think he has that type of mind frame.
I think it's Cam's job to lose if he comes back. You see what I mean? Like I don't think he's coming
I don't
in
know
as
about that.
I don't think he's coming in as the backup.
No,
I
he's
think
not gonna come in as the backup. He's gonna come in and thinking he's a starter, but
no,
the
no.
coach is gonna make him compete.
No. I think he's gonna come in as the starter, but it's his job to lose. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna compete. I agree with you. They're gonna make him compete, but it's his job to lose. So they're gonna come in and give him every opportunity. And if I believe that would be the smart way to go, because the guy has talent. He's a very talented guy. So you put him in that position where if you lose the position, then you lost it. I didn't take you out of it. I gave you every opportunity to be the starter. I want you to be the starter because you're the most talented guy we have at that position.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, all right. Okay, I'll grant you that. Now, let me ask you this, and I want to. This is a quick little betting bet. Okay, 50% chance, over or under, that he comes to training camp with a dress on. Over or under 50%. That's the over under.
Over
What do you
under
got?
50%.
Yeah,
If
what do you
he's
got?
gonna,
Over or under?
he's not gonna come with a dress on. He's not. Maybe
I'm saying.
maybe a scarf and some spandex, but
You know what? I'll take that as close enough. So it's over 50%.
a flowery scarf
Right.
and a hair bonnet. I mean, I don't
Right.
know.
Exactly.
I mean, that's very possible too, because I'm naming like some of his outfits. So
Okay. Well, I mean, the Carolina Panthers. I'm not going to say they're in rebuilding mode. They might be though, Russ, because they just lost Luke Kuechly.
well, they have to be in rebuilding mode. I mean, what?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
You
you're
know what
right.
I
Let me
mean?
take that
They have
back.
to be. They've got their running back.
Yeah. Yeah, they got their running back. They got some, nice pieces at wide out.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to replace Luke Kuechly. That's a definite, though. They're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
have to replace.
they got to replace the defense. That
Yeah.
defense, yeah,
Yes. There you go.
they got to
The defense needs an overhaul.
yeah, they're definitely in rebuilding. The team needs an overhaul. They've got their running back. The quarterback position is still in question, like we just discussed. Now,
Yeah.
and the thing is, I don't know. We were just discussing Cam and everything in the quarterback position, but I don't know what the philosophy of this new coach is.
Yeah.
And what he needs from his quarterback. What system they're running? Is he gonna? Because in the past, Rivera they tailored the offense around Cam's
Right.
talents.
Mm-hmm.
Is this what this coach is going to do as well, or is he coming in with his own philosophy and Cam has to be able to adapt to that? And
Right.
that's gonna really decide what we were just discussing, about Cam, so it's a 50-50 thing, I think, with that, that you could easily be right about it, that he's done in Carolina. And maybe, I don't want to say the NFL, because there might be another team that he will fit the mold, to his style of play, maybe, but he could be done depending on the philosophy of this new offense.
Right. Okay.
I mean,
Well, I mean,
or do you just put the offense around the running back?
McCaffrey.
Yeah, you put it around McCaffrey, because
But I'm
he
saying, do you think he can handle that load, though, Russ?
yeah, I think so. The kid is that I think he can. I
Hmm.
think he can. I would get
Okay.
another running back though to help.
Yeah, I'm
You
with you.
know,
I would do the same thing. If I'm them, I'm drafting a backup running back just in case,
I,
to
I,
spell him a little bit.
you need a banger.
Yeah. I will say this, Russ. I'm going to maintain again. The Atlanta Falcons, they're going to get better. I know they were
Let
bad.
me ask you this:
Yeah.
since we're just talking about quarterbacks,
Oh shit.
is Matt Ryan going to be the quarterback next year?
Yeah, he'll be the quarterback next year. Yeah. You mean this coming
Yes,
NFL season? Yes,
yes.
he'll be the quarterback. Yes, he will. Now, if the same thing happens this season coming up, then there's a few questions. He might not be the quarterback, but I'll say yes, he's the quarterback this year. Yeah.
I don't. If it wasn't for being the Dallas Cowboys and all of the attention that they're given,
Mm-hmm.
the Atlanta Falcons was the most disappointing team this year.
I would agree with that.
Even because of the talent that they have.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
compared
Yes.
to the same thing with the Cowboys. They have a lot of talent, and people expected more. Atlanta expected I didn't because I picked them to finish at the bottom of the division.
Yeah, you did.
But I don't believe in Matt Ryan, and I don't see how this team is going to get better. I don't. I feel that they're going to be they're going to be like 8-8 again next year.
Wow, that's
Julio's another year older. Matt Ryan's another year older,
that's
and
true.
you know,
That's true.
when you have that much talent, you're expecting yourself to compete. So you're kind of like in limbo with that type of team. Is like, do we? Because it's different. The difference with the Cowboys is at least the Cowboys have young players.
Right. Right.
It's
Right.
youth there.
Right.
Whereas the Falcons, we're talking about, Amari Cooper's in his 20s. Michael
Right.
Gallup is in his early 20s. Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott. You see what I mean? Like those
Yeah.
guys are young. DeMarcus Lawrence. All these guys are young. They're young guys. Our middle linebacker. All of them are young. But when you look at the Falcons, Matt Ryan is up there. Julio Jones, like I said, these guys are not young.
No,
So
you're right.
do you start rebuilding, or do you go another year with them and say, hey, let's ride this horse? You see, and that's where they're at right now. And
Right.
I don't see them rebuilding.
Yeah, no doubt. But I do see them keeping Matt Ryan for one more year though.
No, definitely. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with
I
that.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
he'll be there at least one more year.
And they'll be eight
Wait,
and eight.
sorry.
They'll be 8-8, 7-9.
8 and 7. I mean, well, I gotta see what they do in the draft. I gotta see what they do via free agency. But
Absolutely.
you know what I'm
But
saying?
free agency is not going to help it.
You don't think so?
No. I mean, who are you getting?
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
who are they getting to change what we see there?
Yeah.
What are you going to get a high powered wide receiver? Isn't that what Julio Jones is?
Right. Right.
The
Yeah.
only thing that could change the Falcons is they get such a dynamic running back.
Right. Yeah,
You know
which
what I
they
mean?
don't have. They really don't have one.
No, they don't.
No.
You get a young, like if they had like an Ezekiel Elliott coming in, or
Right.
a player, a running back like that. I mean, or Derek Henry type. Somebody
Right.
like that's gonna bring a new life where it takes the load off of Matt Ryan because he's at that age now where you got to take some of the load off of him.
Well, Russ, that could be a possibility now. They Jonathan Taylor is available. He's coming out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? J.K. Dobbins, a bunch of them.
But then
Bunch
you
of good
also
backs.
got to have the line too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You gotta have the line that can block block for those guys. But I mean,
Yeah.
it remains to be seen. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Let's go to what about the Bucks? I'm surprised you haven't mentioned your boy yet,
well,
Jameis.
yeah, I mean,
Winston.
Jameis Winston, I'm proud of him because he's an official member of the 30-30 club.
Leave Jameis alone, man. I still believe in Jameis.
He has accomplished a feat that no other quarterback in NFL history has accomplished. So there's something to be said for that, right?
Well, let's ask the same question since we've been, it seems like this is the theme of the NFC South, other than one team.
Right.
Is Jameis Winston the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next year?
Wow. I'm gonna say no.
You gonna say no? I say he will.
You say he will be.
Yes. He will have 30 touchdowns next year, but
how many interceptions?
15.
50. Wow, I tell you what. Then if he has those numbers, then yeah, he will be. But I seriously doubt that.
I think he'll bring his interceptions down.
Jameis is what he is. Jameis is all right. Jameis is like playing Russian roulette. Jameis at quarterback is like playing Russian roulette. You know what I mean? You can go 5-6 clicks on the pistol, and that and that one last click could be the end all. You know what I'm saying? It could end it.
Right.
I mean, how many pick sixes did he throw this year? Like 7, 8?
Yeah.
Right.
Jameis is a gunslinger, man. He's a gunslinger.
Well, Russ, you're right. He is a gunslinger, Russ, but you can't have like he's not Brett Favre. I'm sorry. Brett Favre was a unique gunslinger, you know what I mean? Brett Favre was just a different cat. You know, Jameis is a good
I would say,
Jameis is a good quarterback, but
and, and,
he's inconsistent. Now
so
I will say this: he got consistent towards the end of the season. He got a little bit more.
yes,
He
he
improved.
did. Yes, he did, man. He
Yeah,
did.
his consistency improved. I will say that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And
It
that
improved.
was a good way to end. But then he still ended up with the pick six that put him in a 30-30 club at the end of the game.
Right.
And it's like he's at the moment now where it's like I feel that, in my opinion, I feel he got better this year.
He
Even
did. He
though
did.
he okay, thank you. Because I mean the numbers, people would just point to the numbers and say, oh, 30-30. He threw 30 interceptions.
No,
How could he
not
be better?
exactly. But Russ, you and I both know I'm not a stickler for
Oh
numbers. I really
no,
not.
no, no. But if you watch how he played, he did do
Right.
he did play better. And like you said, he ended the season playing well, even though
Yeah.
he did improve. So now is it can he do that again?
Right. Exactly.
Can he
Can he?
improve off of this?
Right. And you know what, Russ? And it goes back to what I was saying last year. Can he be? Because if he does that again, that means he's showing semblance of consistency. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? So can he
Yes.
be more consistent? Is the issue with Jameis Winston? It's always
Can
been
he
his issue.
can he fake can
Inconsistency.
but I would like to see, because remember why I if you remember, if we go back we can go and listen to some of our earlier podcasts where we were
Mhm.
talking about James at the beginning of the season, making our predictions, and
Right.
why I said that I felt that Jameis was focused this year, and I think he was. I think he really was focused on trying to make things better
Uh-huh.
and be better. And I think he did. He took a step towards the right direction. But my reasoning was that I thought Bruce Arians, he's been good with quarterbacks, and I thought it would help him. I thought Byron Leftwich being the offensive coordinator would help him as well.
Right.
And let's see another season. I want to see another season with with him under there, like another all guys, and see they can fix some of his issues.
Right.
Because it's not talent is not the issue.
No, it's not because
He's
he is
got
talented.
Yeah,
You
he's
know.
got the arm. He's competitive. He's like in the game.
Right.
All of that. That's not his issue. His
Now
issue
his issue is inconsistency
and
and
mental
eating.
too.
Right.
It's like
Exactly.
you know, being able to read certain things.
Exactly. And he's got to put back long gone the days of, oh yeah, eating W's and
I think
stealing
he put that.
crabs.
I think he put that away this year, though.
Yeah, he
The
did. He did. He did.
Some of that weird, weirdo stuff he was doing,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
like you said, eating W's and stuff. And if he goes further and further away from that, I'm thinking that and he gets they from what the Bucks were saying, this guy was the first in the building and the last to leave
Right.
this year.
Right.
And when you have a guy like that, and with the talent that he has, I expect him to get better, because he's not old yet. He's
No,
not
no,
old.
no, he's not
But he's
old.
a veteran. He's a veteran though. But
Mm-hmm.
he's not old. He still
Yeah.
has some youth in him where he can improve. There's still room for improvement. Of course, when you throw 30 interceptions and some of those too many pick sixes.
Right. Right.
But but he's another one that I think a running back would really, you know, a solid running game. But then that team is not built like that, and Bruce Arians is not built like that. That's not, they're going to be a passing team.
Right. Right. Right.
Now, my thing is that I feel he will be the quarterback, but the only thing that could take him out of that position is maybe Phillip Rivers.
Really
Yeah,
coming to
to the
the
Bucks.
really
That you heard it here first. Phillip
really
Rivers.
Philip Rivers,
Phillip Rivers, just where did he move to?
Florida, right?
Right.
He's not going.
Yes.
Russ, he's not going to the Bucks. He's not
You
going to the
don't.
Bucks. Uh-uh.
Uh,
You know what Philly's
I,
going to do? He's going to retire and become an analyst.
you think he's gonna retire?
Mm-hmm. He'll
I don't
retire.
know. I think Phillip wants to play. I
He
think he
wants
wants
to
to play
play.
another season.
He wants to play, but I'm telling you right now, if the Chargers draft a quarterback, he's gone.
Well, I think he's not. He's not going back to San Diego. He's done in San Diego. I mean, I'm sorry, San Diego. I meant Las Vegas, or
Right.
is it?
Right.
Yeah, it's Las
Yeah,
Vegas, right?
whatever the hell it is, San Diego, Las
Yeah,
Vegas, whatever.
Las Vegas, L.A., whatever. But the Chargers. All right.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's done with the Chargers.
Right. I
Did
mean,
you did you see his press conference after the season, the last game of the season?
no. What was he saying?
I mean, it got pretty emotional, and he was basically saying he was basically saying his goodbye. Like, I mean, not even basically. He flat out was saying he's not done. He wants to play,
Hmm.
and there's another team out there that he blatantly said it. So he's done it with the Chargers. He's definitely
Hmm.
not coming back there. Definitely not.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, then that begs the question: Is could Brady go to the Chargers?
I don't see Brady going to the Chargers because the Chargers are not. I don't. It's a possibility, but I could quicker see Brady going to the Titans.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, you're right. That's a good
You
one.
know,
That's a good one because his
Brady's gonna go somewhere where he feels like, I got a team around. He needs a team around him that's gonna win. He's
right,
old right now.
right.
He's much older.
Hmm.
He can't carry it, on his arm. And I just don't. I just think the Chargers to make a lateral movement like that. And I'm not saying Phillip Rivers is on Brady's level or nothing like that.
Hmm.
But I'm just saying it's just another older. You're going to go from one old quarterback to
To
another
another
old
one,
quarterback.
to an
Yeah,
older quarterback.
right. It doesn't make sense to me. Even for Tom Brady. Even for
Right.
Tom Brady, it doesn't make sense to me.
Hmm.
It's not a
Well,
smart move to me.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. Well, since
And
we're talking about the Chargers, since they're on the West Coast, what about the NFC West, man? What do you think about that division? I mean,
man, that's a tough division.
the 49ers. I mean, I don't. Honestly, Russ. I've got to go back to the archives to see who I picked in that division. I believe I picked the Seahawks to win that division. I
I
think.
think I think we both picked the Seahawks to win that division.
Yeah, but boy, were we wrong. Holy Jesus.
Right. I
I
don't
mean,
think either one of us picked the 49ers to
yeah.
win that division.
I mean,
Um, and
Jesus.
I remember picking the Rams to not make the playoffs.
Yes, I
I,
remember that too.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and I was right about that.
He was. I gave you that. Yeah. I think I picked. I would think it was the same thing. I think I picked.
Yeah.
I think I picked the 49ers to come in second in that division.
Did you?
Yes, I think. I'm not sure. I might be wrong. I may be wrong, but I believe I picked the. No, you know what? No, wait. No, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I
I
did
think
pick
you
the
picked
Rams.
the Rams to pick
Yeah.
second, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked the Rams second, and I was dead wrong on that.
Yeah.
Now they were one win away from making it, though. I will say that.
Right. Yeah.
All they had to do
Yeah.
was win against San Francisco, and they'll be in. But
Yeah. But they underachieved this year.
yeah, yeah, they did. So
Their defense was really, and that's why Wade Phillips got released. I
yeah,
mean, their defense definitely underachieved this year.
hmm
Which
they
was a
did. Did.
stronghold in the previous season. For
Hmm.
them.
Hmm. Absolutely.
That
So, but I mean, now, do you think the 49ers? Now I know they're in the Super Bowl, and I know we're going to be discussing the Super Bowl another day, another podcast. But do you think they have the right guy at quarterback for them to win the Super Bowl?
um,
Because
I
to me,
do,
that's
I
a
do,
wild
I
card.
do, I do because the reason why I say I do is because they're not built to win with Garoppolo.
Okay,
They're built to win with defense and the run game,
run
and
game, right?
Garoppolo is definitely good enough to to do what he needs to do. To play his part. He can be a Trent Dilfer, and he's better than Trent Dilfer, but
Hmm.
he can be a Trent Dilfer on this team, and they could win. But like you said, we'll discuss the Super Bowl on another episode. But yeah, I think so. I think Garoppolo is a decent quarterback, but if they're not asking him to do that,
Right.
right
No,
now at least. But I think he can.
right now. Let me ask you this: Do you think the jury's still out on Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yes.
I
Not
do
not
too.
but I do think he took a step towards in a positive direction where you can say if you he checked some boxes this season. I feel
Hmm.
he stayed healthy. That's one.
Yeah, yeah, that's one. That's true. Yep.
Yeah, and he didn't do anything to lose the game.
Yeah.
To lose games. He didn't lose games for them.
Right. Right.
And that's the key. When he was called upon, he did what he needed to do to
Right.
get the job done. Um, I think he's a decent quarterback. You know, I don't think he was hype.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
but he's in a perfect position. He doesn't need to. Because Garoppolo is a gunslinger, really. To be honest with you,
Right.
he's a gunslinger, but
Yeah, he is. He is.
he
He is.
doesn't have to be on this team, and that's the perfect situation. And that's the we were talking about Jameis. Jameis needs a situation like that, but it's not going to happen with the Bucks and Bruce Arians and them because they have a throwing philosophy.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
yeah, but the Niners, yeah. I mean, wow, the NFC West is representing the NFC 2 years in a row.
It is. Yeah. That's ironic, isn't it?
Right.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, well, it remains to be seen. That should honestly that Super Bowl should be a damn good one. You know what I
It
mean?
should be a really good one. Yeah, really good one.
Yeah.
I definitely
Now,
wanted to see the Titans go, but
yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been nice too. But
yeah.
it was a nice story. The Titans gave it. They fought though. They
Oh
didn't
yeah,
lay
they
down.
fought hard. Yeah, they nothing to hang their head low about.
Yeah, they absolutely fought, man. Now Russ, changing gears here for a second. I know we hadn't had a chance to catch up with college football. Um,
Yes, the
your
national
thoughts?
championship.
Yeah, your thoughts on the national championship game?
I got one word. No, I guess it's not a word. I got three letters.
3 letters. Oh God, no, 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 no! Please, no. I don't even want to hear it.
SEC.
Okay, okay.
I told you the SEC was gonna win
No,
it all.
okay, yeah, no doubt, and you did. However, I got 3 words.
What's that?
No, 4 words. 6 words.
Okay, it's
No,
growing.
I got
It's about to
seven
be a
words.
paragraph in a minute.
I got I got 7 words. The Big Ten should have been in the playoffs.
Should not have been.
Should have been.
They were. They were represented.
No, I'm saying I'm my bad. I'm the national championship. It should have been in there. I'm sorry.
Oh, you mean they should have beaten Clemson?
Bingo.
Okay,
Ohio State should have beaten Clemson.
I
Your
give you that,
thoughts.
but
Your thoughts.
I give you that, but they didn't. I give you that. Are you talking about the calls?
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, there was some bad
Russ.
calls, man. I mean, there
I
was some bad
mean,
calls.
the Russ, it was some game changing dog. They took points off the board.
Yeah, yeah,
Points.
yeah.
It's not like they say, "Oh yeah, it was a pass interference," and it was a 50-yard pass interference spot foul. Dog, they took points off the board.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can't do that because and the worst part about it is the on the play that they called a pass in I'm sorry, an incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass, yeah.
They replayed it, Russ, after they
Yeah.
ruled it was a completed pass and a fumble. They replayed it and they saw the dude took 3.5 steps with the ball in his hands.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Kind of reminded me of the Dez catch.
Yeah, exactly. Bingo. There you go. There you go. Because that was a catch by Dez.
Yeah, it was a catch.
That was a catch. And it's ridiculous. That's why these refs, this officiating, man, in the oh my God, I don't know.
You. I hate to see the refs decide games, and I get tired of seeing that. Like, when you have a talented team as Ohio State and Clemson,
right?
Like that. I mean, you want the players. Let them decide.
Let them play. Yeah, let them decide it.
Let them decide it. But yeah.
Anyway,
I definitely feel your pain. I mean, didn't I sympathize with you that night?
Yeah, you did. You did. You did in your own unique way. You did.
My own unique way.
You did. You know what I'm saying? In your own unique way, you did sympathize with me. I mean, now Russ, I'll even go on a limb and say this. Even if Ohio State does make it to the national title game, I would have picked Ohio State to lose the game because LSU was just that good.
LSU was, I knew no matter what, LSU was going to win that thing.
Yeah, they was
once. Yeah, LSU was just this. This is just one. They deserved it. This is their year. This is their year.
Exactly. Joe Burrow is an absolute stud. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Right.
know. How do you feel about Joe Burrow? How do you feel
I
about? I
think
think
I think the kid's amazing. I think the kid's
absolutely.
amazing. Um,
He
Definitely
reminds me of your
amazing.
boy. He does. It truly reminds me of Tony Romo. I swear. He
Yeah,
reminds me of Tony Romo because
yeah.
his confidence, his
Young Tony Romo.
escapability. Yes, a young Tony Romo. His
Hmm.
escapability to keep the eyes down the field. He's just good, man. He's just darn good. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, either way, LSU would have won the national title. I mean, but let's
Yeah.
not forget though, Russ. Joe Burrow was a Buckeye for 3 years.
Oh, how did I know this was going to come up?
He's from the state of Ohio. He's from Athens, Ohio, to be exact.
But he's an LSU Tiger in the SEC and a champion.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, the boy, yeah, you're right. He is a champion and all that, but I mean, he's an Ohioan. You know what I mean? He's a Buckeye. He
No, he's
look,
not a Buckeye.
no,
He's
he
not a
is a Buckeye.
Buckeye.
He even
He
said
never
it.
won a he never won a championship with the Buckeyes.
No, but it doesn't matter. He's a Buckeye. Listen, when he was accepting his Heisman Trophy,
He's more of a Buckeye than he is a Tiger.
um,
Are you serious?
no, he's a half Tiger, half Buckeye.
Oh my goodness.
He's half Tiger, half Buckeye. He really is.
I'll let you have that, man. I'll let you have that.
He's half Tiger, half Buckeye. I mean,
uh, it's terrible. But I mean, what do you think about Trevor Lawrence now?
you
We've
know,
seen.
Trevor. First of all, he had a horrible game. He was overthrowing guys. I mean, he was setting up guys for failure in that game.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he's had guys jumping, landing down on their necks and all that. But you know what?
Now, do you think? Let me ask you this before
Hmm.
you answer. Finish what you were about to say. Do you think that Trevor Lawrence? What was the issue in that game? Do you think was it that he was having a little bit of trouble figuring out what the defense was doing a lot of times, or do you think it was just he just had a bad game? He was just missing guys.
I thought he just had a bad game.
You think he
I
just
really,
had a bad game?
yeah,
Okay.
I really do because he was just missing guys. It wasn't like, he wasn't making the right reads. He was just missing.
Missing them, yeah.
You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? He was
Okay.
overthrowing, underthrowing. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, dude. Like, it's not like he was throwing into triple and double coverages all night.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean? He was just missing wide open guys, which was weird. I mean, he
What
had a bad game.
was it the pressure?
The pressure
No,
of the
okay, yeah, go ahead. You're about to say it
you
anyway.
mean
Go
the
ahead.
pressure of the game or like the pressure from
Yes, the pressure of the moment because this kid Burrow is over there. People forget that when you got another guy in your position on the other side that everybody's talking about, and the year before that everybody was talking about you,
right,
and now they're talking about this guy and he's performing. You
right.
know, he's on his best behavior.
You know what? I'll give you that, Russ. I think it was some pressure involved, some mental pressure.
Exactly.
I think it was
Exactly.
a mental pressure because number one, see, last year Trevor Lawrence wasn't expected to win the national title.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So
No.
he came in there, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, not giving a damn, and just played, with no pressure, and you know what I'm saying? He played loose. He played
Right.
with no pressure on him,
There was no expectations.
no expectation, and he came out there and balled out. I mean, he was accurate, elusive, poised, composed.
He
You know
was
what I'm
Joe
saying?
Burrow.
Yeah, bingo. He was Joe Burrow last year.
Right.
You know what I
Um.
mean? But
Now, I'm glad that you said that because that takes you to the beginning of this season where he struggled.
yes, he
Was
did.
that also that I think that goes with what you're just saying with the pressure, like that pressure coming into the season. But
Yeah.
then he overcame it. But of course, it was lesser talent they were facing
Yes, exactly.
most of the way. But
Exactly.
he did overcome it, and he played well in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think it got to him in that game though.
Yeah,
The
I think
pressure.
the mental pressure, I think, got to him in that game. I think, however, Russ, moving forward, I think Trevor Lawrence is special. I think he's going to be an excellent player
Me too.
in the next year and in the pros. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. And I think we'll see that matchup that face off matchup again in the
Uh,
NFL. I mean,
with Burrow and him, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think we'll see that again
Yeah. Yeah. I
down the
believe that.
road. That'll be a matchup thing.
Yeah, I can believe that. I can believe that. I can see that happening, no doubt. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
I mean, but I mean, Joe Burrow is going to be the number one overall pick.
Yes.
I think he's going to be the best quarterback in Cleveland and in the state of Ohio.
So you already got him on the Browns, huh?
No, he's already on the Bengals.
Oh, you mean the Bengals? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what I said that to lead into this. Baker Mayfield
Yes.
has
Yes.
regressed.
Big time.
I mean, holy Jesus, that dude. I don't know what it is, Russ. I mean, I don't know if it's the excessive commercials he's making. I don't know. But my God, he looked terrible this whole season.
Yeah, it was like he read he
The
started to
press
believe
clippings.
the press clippings. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
he
I
started to
see.
believe his own hype.
Yes.
You know, and honestly, some people would look at it like, oh, he went from number one overall pick to put rookie of the year to bust in a year and a half, potentially.
Potentially. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to be a bust. I'm just saying potentially. Now, who's been a bust in Cleveland is Odell Beckham Jr.
Yes.
He's
And
been a bust.
I'm not big on Odell. Um, like I said, I always thought Jarvis Landry was a better receiver coming out in the draft from LSU. Both of them coming out of LSU. I
Mm-hmm.
had Landry above Odell, not by much,
Mm-hmm.
but I had him higher
Right.
as an overall receiver, and I believe that it's starting to show.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of perception about Odell that he's this. You know, he's because of his talent. He is very talented. You can't take that away from him.
Right.
But he's like the Russell Westbrook of the NFL.
Russell Westbrook would you're right. He's a Russell Westbrook with a with sort of a I guess how can I put this? He's a Russell Westbrook with a tendency to slap people's on their butts. I mean,
I mean, we were talking about outfits earlier with Cam. Russell has some very suspect outfits as well,
yeah.
but hey, and Odell has some suspect behaviors as well, but
Yes.
that's this generation. So, hey, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
But
yeah, you're right. This generation is, I mean, everything
they're
goes,
different.
any and everything
They're,
goes in this generation.
right, they're different. But just the emotional is why the comparison I made, like that they are emotional players
Yes.
and not in a good way.
Right.
You
Not.
know,
No.
they can be defeated mentally, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
And they're both very talented. You know, ultra talented,
Mm-hmm.
top of the list when you're talking about talent with Russell Westbrook or Odell Beckham.
Mm-hmm.
But if your mental's not there, and you can be taken out,
Right.
it's just a lot of stats and a lot of numbers and perception. I feel about those guys, but you know, we'll see. Beckham. I know people, even Cowboy fans, they want Beckham. I'm like, no, I don't want Beckham.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I
Yeah,
think
I don't want that circus. You know what I mean? I'm
nah,
sorry.
yeah, we don't need that.
I
We
mean, the
got,
Cowboys,
I
they're a three ring circus just by themselves. You know, they don't need
absolutely, we definitely don't
sideshow
need that.
Bob coming over there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need sideshow Bob, and he can stay in Cleveland. You know.
I mean, he's already got one coach, actually two coaches fired.
Right.
From Cleveland.
Yeah, he's on TO. He's no, I'm not gonna say he's on TO level yet, but
You don't think
he's
so?
no. You can't give him TO level yet
Okay.
because
Well, let me ask you this: Who is Antonio Brown on Teal's level?
that's why I can't give him because of Antonio Brown. I can't give Beckham. You know what I mean? Like that. That's how bad Antonio Brown has turned his career into.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know that he makes Beckham look like a schoolboy.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
like a choir boy.
Yeah. He makes Odell Beckham look like Amari Cooper.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? A
Right.
very good receiver that doesn't, love the limelight. Just comes and works hard and plays hard and be great. And you know what I'm saying?
When
He makes
Odell's
Odell look like that.
Odell's slapping cops on the butt.
Right.
But Antonio Brown is like lodged up in his house, refusing to come out. I mean, I don't know what's going on. They're gonna run up in it. What is this, like Waco, Texas, all over
Right.
again? I
Right.
mean, what's going on here?
Right. Antonio Brown, he's cussing cops out, calling them the
Right,
N word.
right,
Right in front of his children. Then he's
right.
cussing out the Patriots. He's cussing out the 49ers. He's cussing out the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? It's just one thing after he's beefing with Juju Smith-Schuster for no reason. Uh,
Right.
Calling out Ben Roethlisberger. It's just this man. Honestly, Russ.
It's gone left. I mean, far left.
Yes. Honestly,
Fast,
yeah,
fast.
facts.
It's like,
Real quick.
what happened?
Right.
What happened?
What happened, dude? And here's the thing. Here's what I maintain, dog. That kid needs help now. At this point, he
Yeah,
needs help.
it's sad. It's sad to see somebody, and I'm not going all by the perception of the media either, but you know, it comes to a point we were talking earlier about looking in the mirror and saying, okay, I've done some things. I've made some mistakes here,
Right,
and
right,
and he's yet to do that, and that's kind of TOS,
right. Yeah,
TO style.
yeah,
You've made some mistakes, and a lot of mistakes actually,
yeah,
in the last couple years, and you need to definitely get it together because it doesn't look good, regardless of what if the media is pouring some of that stuff on and making it even worse,
yeah.
or what you have played your part in that, and you need to
Right.
you need to make some changes, man. That wasn't cool.
Yeah.
What's going on with him right now? But like you said, he needs help, man. I hope he gets it.
Yeah, he does, man. He needs professional help. I mean, I think I don't know if it's CTE or whatever because I remember one thing I clearly remember is when Vontez Burfict hit him when he was coming over the middle and he got hit hard and got knocked out of the game.
Yeah.
He hasn't been the same since. I mean,
You think so? You think that's where it started?
I, I mean, I'm not saying that's what it is, Russ, but golly, I mean, that
It's got to be
ever since,
something, right?
yeah, it got to start somewhere. He wasn't like that before, you know.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
He was just a hardworking, you know, receiver. I remember
Right.
when Emmanuel Sanders was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, it was Emmanuel Sanders' show, and then you started noticing Antonio Brown dominating, and then he took over the reins and
Right.
been the guy, and then all of a sudden the money and fame started getting to him, and then he got clocked over the middle, and next thing you know, he started you know what I'm saying, cussing people's
Right.
mamas out and calling
Cussing
coaches out
people's
and all
mamas
that.
out.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah,
like,
it's
yeah,
tough.
man. I mean, realistically, that boy needs some help, man. I mean, have you seen the latest video of him?
You mean when with his in front of the police with his kids?
No, I'm talking about the actual rap video he made talking about normal white girls in 2020 or something like that, and he had
Oh,
a
I
bunch of
heard
white girls.
about it. I heard about it. Yeah, I heard about
Yeah,
that.
you can Google it. TMZ has it.
Yeah, and I saw I did see the clip of him boxing.
Yeah. He wants to box this some
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
guy.
You talking about KSI and what was it?
Hmm.
KSI and what's the other guy's name? It's not KSI he wants to box. It's the one that KSI boxed.
Right.
I forgot. They got brothers. There's two brothers, blonde
Yeah.
hair brothers or whatever. But yeah, he wants to box. They called him. One of them called him out, and of course,
Yeah.
he Antonio Brown wants all the smoke. So
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
he's not shying away from any of that. He wants all the smoke.
Yeah, so I mean, Lord help his soul. Please, God, help that kid.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And speaking of that, did you see the Delonte West thing? Like,
yes,
I know,
Russ. You know what,
but that's a
Russ?
good
That
segue
that
right
is,
there from that.
yeah. Speaking, you're right. You're absolutely. I did see the Delonte West thing. Man, you know how Russ, my heart felt. I felt something in my heart for that kid, man.
I did too, man. I didn't like to see that.
Yeah, I did not like to
I
see
really
that.
hope some of these guys in the NBA, LeBron and them, help him out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if LeBron will help him out because of the whole situation with his mom.
With his mother and everything. But yeah, I think I saw something saying that LeBron said he would, but I don't know how true that is. So
Right. Yeah,
yeah,
Russ.
but I hope somebody come. It's not just LeBron. It's not his responsibility.
Yeah.
But he's got many former teammates,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the NBA itself, like somebody got to do something
yeah.
with it. This
Somebody's
kid
got
could,
to
they,
intervene. They got to step in, man. That kid.
that's not, yeah, that's not a good look.
No, it's not. Delonte West. I mean, here's the thing, Russ. It's not like this kid, was a flash in the pan NBA. But he actually, Delonte could play.
Yeah,
You know
he
what I'm
could
saying?
play, man. Yeah,
He
he
could
had
play. He
game.
was a starter. He
Yeah,
started games and played playoff games and was successful. You know what
right,
I'm saying? Played 7 or 8 years in the NBA.
right.
On good teams, and
Yeah,
you know, and to see what he's amounted to now, he's hit rock bottom. Um,
big time.
you know, yeah, man. I'm telling you, right? If I was a multi-man, like if I was in the NBA, I'd help him. I'm serious, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
even if I
I
don't
mean,
even know him, Russ. Even if I've never met him before, I'd do something to try to get him some help, get him clean.
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Because I saw that video, Russ. I was like, damn,
Yeah, that was
my heart
bad, man.
melted, man.
And
I
that was
swear.
right out. That's right out here in Maryland.
Yeah, that was
That's
on 210,
yeah,
Indian Head Highway.
yeah, exactly.
I'm
Indian
like,
Highway,
damn,
PZ.
dog. I couldn't believe that, Russ. I'm like, wow. I mean, he looks bad. He looks bad, man.
Right.
He looks bad. He looks terrible. He looks like he's so scrawny and skinny now. Lost a lot of weight.
Right.
He's just homeless. He's been living on the street for a long time now.
Yeah.
It's man, they gotta get him some help, Russ. Seriously, man. Seriously,
Yeah.
somebody got to step in. NBA has to step in because
Yeah. It's not a good look.
nah, man. Mm-mm-mm. Hopefully, God find a way to help him out, man, because that boy needs some help. I mean, I'm sure he has a family members that's seen what's been going on with him. He's been homeless for a long time.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
been years. It's
yeah.
been years.
So it's like, damn, I don't know, man. Hopefully he'll get some help.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets some help. That's a bad look right there, bro. It's a bad look. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. So um. Yeah, we covered pretty good today, man. What do we got?
Yeah.
What do we got coming up next for the? I mean, are we gonna talk about the? Well, I mean, I guess we're gonna discuss Super Bowl next
Absolutely.
on the next show. Also, I know you want to dive into the NBA as
All
well.
Star Weekend. Zion is debuting tonight. He's looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, yeah,
Um.
yeah. We can touch.
Yeah.
We can actually we can touch on that tomorrow if you like.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So we'll do that tomorrow. Same time, same channel. We'll do that tomorrow, and we'll go from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Feels good to be back, man.
Yeah,
Feels
it
good to
does,
be
man.
back.
Finally, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and listen, we're back. You know, um, and I'm glad that we're back, and we have a lot of content to talk about. We have you have your boy James Winston to discuss. Well, I mean, he gave us a lot of. He helped us out today. About his
Right.
joining. And congrats to him by joining the 30-30 club.
Right.
Um, Cam is supposed to be a vegan, so I don't know. He might be 160 pounds by the time we see him again. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see what happens with that. You know what I mean? So yeah, man.
I mean, so I mean, yeah, it's been a good episode. It's good to be back. We probably have so much more to cover that
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
didn't dive into, but we'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. And I mean, as always, if anything, if anything, Will or I said tonight, ruffled your feathers,
You know
you
what
know
to
what
do,
you can
folks.
plug
Plug
them.
them. Peace out.